In C#, a list is a data structure which stores collections of data. We have seen before a similar data structure, which were arrays, and the list is similar to an array, except for the fact that it can grow or shrink dynamically in size. For this reason, lists are more versatile and widely used in C#. They provide a variety of methods to work with their elements, and this is what we will see in this video. So when we talked about arrays, we saw that this is a syntax how we can create an array. Here we have the data type of the elements of the array, then the square brackets. Here we write the name of the array, and then we write the new keyword, the data type again, and then inside the square brackets, here we define the size of the array, meaning that this array can contain only 3 items. And here's a way we can access those elements. Here we are giving to each element a value, to the first element, to the second element, and to the third element. And let me just print out the elements of the array to the console by using a for each loop. So for each parentheses, here I'm going to take a variable of a string variable, naming it item in items. So basically what this is doing is just looping through each item in this items array. And opening up the curly braces, and I will print out to the console each item. So let me just run the program here. And here we have all of the elements of our array. So the syntax actually to create a list is a bit different. Let me just comment this out firstly. So to create a list, firstly we need to write the list keyword. Then inside this angle brackets here we write data type, or the type of the elements that this list will contain. So let me just create a list of strings. I'm naming it languages. And then here I'm gonna write the new keyword, list. We're creating a new list. Again, here we will specify the data type of the elements of the list, and here I'm just writing the parentheses. So basically, this is the syntax of how we can create a list. And as you can see, we do not specify the size of the list as we did with the arrays. And actually, to add elements to this list, we need to write languages, or the name of the list, and there is a built-in method that we can use for lists, which is add, and this method basically just allows us to add elements. So I'm adding a string element, I'm giving it a value of, let's say, Python. So basically this line here substitutes the way that we used here to add values to the elements of the array. And let me just copy this. And I'm storing also a couple other elements in the array. So I'm storing there another programming language like Java and C#, since this is a C# tutorial. And I'm still using this for each loop to loop through the elements of the list as well. So I'm just going to need to modify it here. So language, the name of the variable in languages. So we're looping through each element of the list. And we'll print out to the console each element of our list. Okay, this is my typing error. Okay, let me run the program. And we should see here Python, Java, and C#. There are many different built-in methods that we can use to store, to manipulate, or to access our elements of the list. And let me just show you a couple of those. So if we write the name of the list again, dot, here we see a whole list of built-in methods that we can use to access or to manipulate, to do some specific operation to our items of our list. And let me just show you how the remove method works. So basically here we can specify the name or the value of the item that we want to delete from the list. So let's say we want to remove the Java from our languages list. And if we print out, if I run the program now, when we print out the elements of the list to the console, we see only Python and C#. Let me just comment this out for the moment. And we also have a method, which is the insert method, which allows us to input a specific element at a specific position at the list. Let's say we want to input in the element with the index of 1, some specific element. And let's say, for example, SQL, another language. So here, this SQL language will be put into the second item of our list. Here, momentarily, we have Java written there, but let's see what happens when we run the application. We'll see that SQL now is in the second position, or in the position with the index of 1 in our list. And then Java is pushed through the third position, and C# is pushed into the last position of our list. There are many, many more methods that we can use to play around with lists. Let me just comment this out again. And we have a method that basically, the sort method that basically just sorts the elements of our list alphabetically. Let's see what we'll have here. We have here C# because it begins with a C, then Java, then Python. Some other useful methods that you could use while coding. Let's say we have the count method, which basically just counts the number of items that the list has. Maybe here we can see that our list has only 3 items, but in a larger list, or in a list that maybe is written in another file, if we want to access the number of the items that this list has, we can just write this count method, and so that we can see it, print it out. Let me just write the write line method. And we see here 3 printed out. So we have 3 elements in this array. We can actually also see the index of a specific element of the array, let's say. So if we would want to know in which index is the element with the value Java, let's say, or let's say C#, by just writing this index of method, we'll see that we'll see printed out of the console that C# is placed in the index of 2, so in the third position basically. So these were lists in C#. As we saw, the main difference between a list and an array is that lists can grow or shrink in size, and we saw a few methods that we can use to work with lists. Thank you so much for watching. As always, make sure to subscribe if you like this content, and I will see you soon.